I don't have the attention span for this, bruh.
Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree-educated mother choosing to stay anonymous. This was the bio of the first account pictured in the Reddit post, an account named TruthSticks11, which was said to be operated by a 12-year-old boy and his mother. Back in October of 2021, the duo would make their very first post, kicking things off on a somewhat concerning note, though not for their own page, but instead another account on the platform.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
The video was created and posted by the mother for the sole purpose of warning others of a specific user who had been posing as a child online when in actuality he was a grown man who did this in order to get close to and exploit other children across the platform. It's the grim reality of this online world, as predators will do just about anything to get closer to children, and it's a reality often unrealized or even ignored by parents, which makes it almost refreshing that this mother was out here trying to raise awareness. These posts would become the crux of the account early on. They would call out this user and their many accounts again and again, eventually going more in depth about what this person would actually do, claiming that they had a strange perversion to dressing up as a young schoolboy.
I did not run this account!
Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. This theme of calling out online predators would remain consistent throughout the years on TruthSticks11. However, after some time, the mother behind the account began to use the page for its initially intended purpose, to share photos of her son. The photos began reasonably normal, and would show this young boy studying at school, accepting awards from their principal, and even school presentations in which their son had attended, with the captions often boasting about how intelligent the young boy was. Though over time, the photos began to grow stranger.
How? Hey.
They looked off, almost as if they were AI generated. And on top of this, they began to appear heavily edited in an almost inexplicable manner, with deep red lipstick often being added, which was enunciated by his face being turned pure white. This unsettling trend would continue from here, as with each passing post, the photos grew less authentic and more surreal.
They look like your thumbnails. No, they don't. What are you saying? So you guys think that I'm the person who ran this account?
Until they became
what the actual is that?
Straight up disturbed, even sickening. These bizarre edits spilled over past just the images too, as the posts began to appear as disjointed collages.
Is it not
often
art?
Showcasing multiple grotesque images and paragraphs about how much this user loved school. And this wasn't the only shift either.
Fuck.
At some point, the son behind the account began posting content that allegedly came directly from him, saying things like, "My really cool mom asked me if I'd like to post, and I said, yes please." He even shared supposed videos that he had filmed of himself.
Like, who finds these pages?
As unconvincing as his photos, and somehow even more chilling.
Play one.
The boy even shows off his singing in one of the clips.
What? What the actual?
Though their voice sounds...
Who just said that's Netsman?
The account was overall anomalous and extremely off-putting. And though this content was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing these fake AI children in explicit positions,
oh, don't show that.
with their faces sometimes even being photoshopped onto scantily dressed adult bodies. One thing is blatantly obvious about the TruthSticks account: the supposed child behind it is not real. Even in the more passable photos at the very beginning, there's evidence to suggest that these were likely AI as well. And based on the disturbed, borderline illegal content that this page featured, it seemed more than likely that whoever was behind this page was not an innocent mother concerned for the welfare of other children.
Who is it?
But instead, a predatory individual themselves.
Oh.
And this wasn't their only account. The second page featured on the Reddit post
not
belonged to a
me.
user named GirlChloe12 and bore striking similarities to Truth Sticks. The page was also supposedly run by a child and monitored by their parent. Bizarrely, they also posted frequently about the dangers of online predators, with the wording of these posts and the editing being essentially the exact same as Truth Sticks, just not as over the top. These two accounts even frequently interacted with each other, thus providing a substantial link on its own.
Dude, I don't know if I'm a genius, but is it, if they're interacting with each other posting the same shit, it's probably ran by the same person. Fucking toddler could have figured that one out, buddy.
But by far the most compelling link between these pages is one that is easy to miss at a glance, with that being a blatant
Why are you guys saying no way? Wait, did I just say something that's already been...
obsession with high-heeled mini boots?
What?
These shoes were mentioned or shown in virtually every single post made by these two users. At playtime, I'm sometimes running around with my really cool heeled footwear I wear with my uniform. After coming home from school, education isn't over for the day once the blue blazer, gray jersey, neat tie, white shirt, tailored close-fit gray trousers, and black heeled mini boots are in the wardrobe. No matter what they discussed, school uniforms and mini boots were always a talking point, which adds confirmation to something that is already becoming apparent. This is fetish content, not too unlike the bizarre accounts in the Pipergate rabbit hole. Fetish content centered around children. And what makes the Chloe account so disturbing is that AI was seemingly not used, and rather the images seem to be of actual children. Despite this disturbing distinction, these two accounts are cut from the same cloth, and all signs point to them being created by the same person. A person
I just said that! Should have had me investigate this. I just said that.
Constant warnings of the dangers of adults pretending to be children online seems to be doing the exact same thing, as part of some sort of fetish, the extent of which we'll discuss later. But for now, one thing was for certain. These pages were not run by children or their parents. So, who created them?
Sus Lacy. How is that sus for me?
Well, that brings us to our third and final account shown in that initial post.
What? Smart Schoolboy 9.
Smart Schoolboy 9 was much the same as the other two accounts. They warned of online predators, obsessed over high-heeled mini boots and school uniforms, and posed as a
it's run by the same person, clearly.
Child, despite clearly not being one. But Smart Schoolboy was different in one key aspect. The person behind the account was pretending to be a child, but they were doing so in a much more apparent manner, as they didn't use AI or stolen images of other kids to form their identity, and instead, they used photos of himself. In the images posted on the account, we see what appears to be a fully grown man, dressed in a schoolboy's uniform.
Oh, nah, bro. That's not me! That is not me! But this is weird. This guy's a creep.
His face is painted pure white and has bright red lipstick, and he is of course wearing high-heeled mini boots. Characteristics that were all utilized across the other accounts, only this time it was done on himself, as he poses as a child pretending to go to school, as well as pretending to go through other life events common for preteens.
Hi, I now have to wear a dental brace, but look how cool it is, and with my smart school uniform and heeled mini boots.
And the photos aren't even the most disturbing part, as the account consists primarily of videos.
Wait, what?
Oh. School. Hey, let me know if you like school as well.
Okay, this is really disturbing. This is really weird. That's not edited, bro. That's actually what this guy looks like?
If you like school as well.
The videos are all incredibly off-putting. Some show him arriving home from school.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. School.
Others show him claiming to be on the bus heading towards school.
Dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm on the school bus.
And other videos showing him doing whatever this is.
was that shit? What the was that? Yo, this guy has a mental illness.
With these strange sounds and the process of sticking his tongue out appearing to be part of his fetish.
Yo, as soon as anyone saw this guy posting these videos on the internet, why is there not 10 police officers at his door? I mean...
As much like the other accounts, his content is overtly sexual.
This guy definitely has a kid in his basement. He 100% has a kid
In fact, there's a video of him with his full outfit on, where he shows himself staring into a mirror as he appears to pleasure himself, right out of view of the camera, as he stares into his own eyes. This account is by far the most sickening part of this whole rabbit hole, and also the most important. Interspersed throughout his page are a few examples.
Turn this off? Wait, is any of this TOS? I feel like it's not TOS if it's on YouTube, right?
Of what this individual's voice sounds like.
This is quite good.
Which just so happens to be the same voice heard in the very first clip shown on the Truth Sticks account.
A man pretending to be a boy.
Meaning that this full-grown adult man is the one behind this entire rabbit hole. He's the one on these accounts pretending to be a child and their mother, getting some sort of sick satisfaction from whatever this is. And the worst part is, these activities aren't just kept behind closed doors.
Bro, I feel like this guy runs all of the accounts. I feel like he runs each account, and I feel like he also runs the one that's trying to expose it.
As we can see on numerous...
No. Why would he try to be... Why are you guys... Stop putting the no way and being weird. I'm saying, why would he... I feel like he also runs the account of him exposing himself. I feel like he's trying... I don't know.
Occasions, videos of him walking around outside in a public space with his full outfit and face paint on.
Look at me.
It's truly one of the strangest things that I've ever seen, and making sense of what this all is extremely difficult.
If I saw this
but based
creature
on the information
IRL, I'd call the
from
cops.
this first Reddit post, a few likely conclusions can be put forward.
It's probably him!
This man is clearly attracted to the idea of being a kid, and I think OP was correct when they speculated that this was some sort of age play thing, but it's also clearly much more than that too. As based on the images that he's created himself, he clearly has some sort of attraction to other children.
He's in the UK? So they don't have cops in the UK?
Children as well, as he's quite literally created faux CP, the likes of which is so disturbing that I can't even really describe it here either. He's creating fetish content, and he's using the likeness of children, and also some children that are clearly very real people, to do so. That much is obvious.
Yeah.
But there was also the possibility that he was pretending to be a kid in order to exploit other children across the
Yo, you know what? He kind of looks like Jaw Pork a little bit, doesn't he? He kind of looks like Jaw Pork. Is this not JP?
Internet. At this point, though, this was merely speculation, with much of the Smart Schoolboy 9 case remaining a
Don't
mystery.
say that about JP. Oh, I'm sorry, my
From
fault.
here.
My fault, I forgot. Community.
Months after this rabbit hole was introduced to the online world, the story began to be shared all across the internet, most notably on the r/internet mysteries subreddit, where the case really took off. There, internet sleuths began uncovering just how vast this web of accounts actually was, as it wasn't just these 3 pages. No, there seemed to be over a dozen, and likely even more that we still haven't found, as he's created his own sort of community, his own little world, where across each page he pretends to be a child, with these accounts typically following each other and frequently interacting, seemingly to make these
Dude, if they're following each other and interacting, it's the same...
characters appear as though they have real friends. On one of these pages, 12 Stockwell Joanne, he poses as a 14-year-old girl, using more AI images to depict explicit positions of this manufactured child, which I obviously am not going to show here.
Yeah,
Though much like his Chloe account, he also shows images of very real young girls. But this isn't the most concerning part of this account, as on numerous occasions, he's shown images of children at a playground.
Oh,
which
hell
he may
nah.
have taken himself.
So this dude is stalking kids at playgrounds.
This
and shit
fantasy
in his
of being a
uniform.
schoolgirl and taking part in these school-centric activities is something carried over throughout multiple of his accounts, with his most common alias being Stephanie, of which he has numerous...
Bro, don't do that shit about behind you. Don't do that. What are y'all saying Drake for?
different accounts featuring that same name.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
This Stephanie character claims to be a 12-year-old aspiring poet, with accounts all across the internet, many of which showcasing examples of her poetry, which carries on those same distinct sexual undertones. I race to complete my poems when I've got an early start, heart racing, mixed rhythms, maximizing miracles, rice with rap, and on the map, my Kennington, London syllables, dancing though I know my underwear might show if I lean forward.
What?
Good. Stephanie Stansfield, 12.
Sus.
But digging even deeper, her poetry has even seemingly been featured in various articles and even newspapers, showcasing that this rabbit hole extends far past just the online world. This act is clearly their obsession, and he's been doing this for years, with the earliest examples that I could find.
Yo, could you imagine seeing this creature walking around outside in public?
He's been doing this for years.
Could you imagine seeing this dude walk down your block recording himself? Talking like a girl?
With the earliest examples that I could find coming from all the way back in 2018. And this Stephanie character seems to be his go-to alias, embodying it in even the literal sense. As in one of his many pages dedicated to this Stephanie character, he dresses as her, wearing a wig and a dress, as he pretends to be a 12-year-old girl. Almost immediately after this case began gaining traction, the true magnitude of this rabbit hole was revealed. Across every single account are countless depraved posts and oddities that all could warrant discussion, but by far the most important discoveries were those that didn't actually occur on his own page, and rather the pages of other actual children.
You know what the worst part is? The worst part is that these people that found out this whole rabbit hole online about this guy, you think this is bad, but if he's doing this online and this is all they could find, I promise he's doing something 10 times more weird in real life. Like the fact that he's posting these pictures and shit, this is weird to a max level, but he's probably doing something 10 times even more weird in real life.
Do you like school? I do. It is good. You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer. These are two examples out of many that show Smart Schoolboy 9 reaching out and attempting to befriend young children online. In one comment, he even warns a child about other comments from bad people, stating that, "It happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dismayed by creeps." This is our best evidence that these accounts weren't just made for age play.
I guess you're not a creep?
No, he's actually posing as a child in order to make friends with
How is that sus?
And given his overtly sexual interests and aversion to CP, it's not hard to gather why he was doing this. And these examples are only what we found so far. It's possible that there are dozens, or who knows, maybe even hundreds of other comments out there.
Yeah, there probably
on unknown
is.
Children's accounts. This is predatory behavior. The man behind Schoolboy 9
is
a predator.
Yes.
And in case there was still any doubt of whether or not this
and I
was
guarantee
sexual,
these accounts that he's making act like kids and stuff, he's probably reaching out to other children trying to be a kid, because that's his like fantasy, is to be a kid. So he's trying to like have friends, which is why I think. Why are you guys saying no way?
thing. Here's what he had to say about being a 13-year-old girl.
What?
But have his tactics actually worked? Well, the frightening thing is, no one knows if he's actually been successful or not, or even what specifically he's looking for. We just know that he's trying to reach kids, as evidenced not only by his comments,
see, I just found
but
that
by
out.
the fact that he's solely following children on all of these pages.
This guy's copying
and though
what I
it's
say.
easy to look at these accounts and know that something is off, for children, it's not that simple, especially when there's pages showcasing photos of actual kids. Which brings up another frightening detail.
Yo, stop calling me a bro. This guy's literally copying what I'm saying.
Many of the images he's used of children have not been traced back to their original creator, and some seem to appear for the very first time online publicly on this man's pages, which might mean that he was sent them privately. There's even one image that David posted on his schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a playdate with. Though it's impossible to say if this is real.
I knew it, chat. It's what I'm saying. Someone like this guy, if he's doing all this weird shit online, he's doing something even weirder in person, because online he can hide behind it. In person, once you get to bro, trust me, I'm telling you guys, I used to watch these documentary type, not even documentary type shows. I used to watch these like shows where they would like get inside of like the people who like were like sociopathic and like had like weird tendencies. This guy, it gets to a point where, notice how he started off slow, and then he was just pretending to be an AI version of a kid, right? Then it turned into him making multiple accounts of doing it. Then it slowly, gradually turned into him dressing up as it. Then it slowly, even more gradually, turned into him posting himself dressed up as it. Then he started actually doing the actions of going to school, going on a bus, trying to be friends with other kids. I'm telling you, when you have sociopathic tendencies and you can't it gets to a point where you can't control it, because you just keep wanting to one up yourself, and it gets to a point where it gets so bad.
Real or not, for now we just don't know for sure. Though given the fact that he's reaching out to children, posting fetish.
You seem to know about this very well. Like,
content centered around children, and has even potentially photographed kids in the wild.
How is that sus?
For certain, Smart Schoolboy 9 needs to be stopped.
I think sus is my new favorite emo. It's not sus.
Finding this man and reporting him to law enforcement quickly became the top priority for those investigating
Facts.
the case.
Good.
And luckily, he left several glaring clues behind that made this process a whole lot easier. On numerous occasions across his many pages,
I'm not Schoolboy 9.
Of specific locations.
Yo, stop saying I'm Schoolboy 9. Stop. OZ Schoolboy. Stop.
Even showing streets and mentioning very particular areas in his poems, all of which centered around the London area,
Lacy
giving
Boy
us an idea
9.
of where he was located. And that wasn't all. I mentioned how the alias of Stephanie was one that he used more so than any other, but what's interesting is that there was another name used just as often across his accounts, brought up time and time again, though it's a name that he never seemed to call any of his characters. Instead, he simply referred to this person as a stepbrother or a father, or even a friend from school.
It's him.
Despite never actually picturing him.
It's him.
Just mentioning his name.
Yep, it's him. David. So his real name's David.
And sure enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name was in fact David. David Alter, with a man being 59 years old.
Oh, no, you are a 59-year-old man pretending to be a 13-year-old girl, David.
At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has any past criminal convictions or documented history of this behavior, but we do know that thanks to the investigation done on Reddit and Discord, he is currently being investigated by local authorities, which will hopefully put an end to his online behavior and shine some more light on who this person actually is. As for the time being, the only other information that we really know about David is that he likes to write poetry and he makes music.
Oh.
I think I hear a running tram. Going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime. Say Mary Ann, hey Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running tram.
Why are you dancing to this?
And his name also appears in a random newspaper.
Wait, did this guy get caught yet? When was this? A month ago? Yo, if this guy's not caught yet, we need a AR loyals on this one, bruh.
Discussing the importance kids wearing school uniforms. And that's really all we have at the moment. Though there is one very important aspect that we have yet to talk about in relation to this man, with that being David's mental state. Some believe that David is a mentally unwell individual who potentially doesn't know the extent of what they are doing. Now, even if this is the case, his behavior still needs to be stopped.
Exactly.
And he needs to be given proper help to assure that no one else gets hurt by his actions. But it is important to note that David is far more intelligent than he lets on, as his personal accounts show us that he is fairly well-spoken and articulate. And throughout his problematic content, most of his bad grammar and strange verbiage seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child. But it's impossible to know for sure. But what we do know is that David is extremely manipulative, with his response to this situation and other clues littered across his accounts showing us that he seems to know what he's doing. And he knows that it's wrong.
It's not me at 59.
Since the exposure of David's accounts, he hasn't silently slithered away like most other predators would. Instead, he's actually responded on more than a few occasions, lashing out to those who have DM'd him, calling them the perverts and predators. He even left a comment on his Joanne account seemingly directed at himself, writing, "You are really sad. And if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50, as you said elsewhere. You reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance ever." This is something David does all the time.
Okay, so what the information I'm gathering from this is he's clearly psychotic. He might even have, honestly, bro, this might be a case of split personality disorder where he genuinely in his head believes that he's a 13-year-old girl and sometimes believes he's a different person, sometimes believes he's this person. Clearly something in his head isn't screwed in properly. He's missing a few screws or something. This guy needs help. He needs help.
It's projection, and it started all the way back at the beginning of this rabbit hole.
I think he has a problem.
That's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every page he made.
Wait, dude, you know what I just realized? In this video of the person exposing the accounts, it's literally his voice. This is him.
The account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés.
Did I just crack the code? Did I crack the case open? Did I just crack the case wide open?
Every page he made, each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices.
It's because he has something going on in his head.
And I can think of 2 reasons why. Number 1, that this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's not another internet creep because he's actively calling them out. It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number 2, he knows what he's doing is wrong. And this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better.
Motherfucker, he ain't playing Among Us.
About what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. And these claims are made over and over again, as each time he calls someone out, he's further exposing himself, which becomes more concerning when you realize that these projections seemingly aren't strictly pedophilic. Within those eerily familiar expose posts he made on TruthSticks11, he mentions how this user not only wanted to exploit children online, but they wanted to kill them as well.
Okay, so this is what I mean when I told you guys, people with sociopathic tendencies, it almost gets to, like, I don't even know the right wording. It gets to a point where it's like it's not enough, right? So they're satisfying their needs because they're satisfying their sociopathic needs, but then the needs grow and they have to do more and more and more till it gets to a point where it's like OD, you know what I mean? So he started off with the internet shit, now he's dressing, now he's gonna start talking to kids, and then it's gonna turn into him wanting to kill them. Why are you guys putting sus? Guys, I watched a lot of Criminal Minds, okay?
As he mentions that this user has a clear interest in cannibalizing kids, and even performing ritualistic sacrifices on them. And based on how accurate all of the other exposures are to himself, I have no reason to believe that this isn't part of his MO as well, as crazy as that may sound. This also seems to coincide with some of the content he's posted that I can't show you, as some of these photos show children edited in contorted positions, including some where he's added what appears to be rope to give the illusion that they're tied up. And what makes this even more disturbing is that on his accounts, he's posted numerous photos in the vicinity of schools, on nearby secluded trails, and even some where he discusses what time school starts and ends, saying that he likes to be awake and ready for it. There's even photos that show other children outside from a distance, almost as if David was stalking them. This is highly concerning. Even if we don't know truly how low this man's perversions get, he is still far too close to children, which is perfectly encapsulated. encapsulated by this photo of him on a school playground during the day. And with his disturbing desires, I don't even want to imagine what he's capable of. Which brings us to the final piece of content that I need to talk about. Chasing another boy running in heeled mini boots.
No.
This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts. And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page, with multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing a young boy.
Is he farting while he walks? And he's chasing a little kid.
Who he then proceeds to chase after, giggling all the while. Whether this was an edited video or a real occurrence, we don't currently know. David's doings are a mystery that will take some time to unravel, and my hope is that law enforcement will be able to follow through and help shed some more light on this individual.
Is he dead now?
Finally put an end to his twisted behavior. But at this point, only one thing is for sure. The story of Smart Schoolboy 9 is far from over.
What? I feel like he hasn't gotten caught yet. I don't know why.